Alright, so a little quick how-to video for you guys. So on the old Dodge here, when you get to driving it, you hit a bump and it just goes nuts. So we've done quite a few things to it already. And, well, I'll show you what we believe it is, and I'll let you know what it's like after we adjust it. So I've already shared, we've got the new springs in, and then last night we put the new shocks on it. But then we discovered something else. Once I put the old alignment on, I had to put a new set of holes in these. These are for the Jeep. And I'm going to put the traditional Jeep alignment on it, because it is, after all, a Dana 44. While it is considered a heavy duty, it's still just a Dana 44. Now, since Duke has not learned yet how to hold a tape measure for me, and I'm going to use the same alignment technique that I use on the Jeep. So on the back here, we got, let's call it 68 and 7/16. That's our back number. Now ideally, I've always set this up with a 1/16 to an 1/8 inch max of toe in. And usually that keeps the Jeep to center itself and doesn't get all squirrely when you hit a bump. But here we've got just a touch over 68 3/4. Alright, so that means she's got almost a 1/2 inch of toe out, which is part of the reason why she gets so squirrely when you hit a bump. Show you how we're going to adjust that. These old swept lines, I like these old swept line trucks. They're kind of nice. And yeah, we got a little snow last night if the sun isn't bleaching it or dropping the tape. So we got it jacked up, and well, show you how we're going to adjust it. Alright, I can't do much with the backlighting. So you have to go through, and this has the power assist cylinder on it. So we got to undo it, undo the stabilizer. You got to loosen up the tie rod on both ends, and then we're going to crank this thing in until I get our number hit. I couldn't rotate the tie rod because it was hitting everything, so we decided since the boot was tore, we were just going to replace the tie rod end. But unfortunately, like most things, they didn't have the one in stock, so we just replaced the boot, get everything back together to the right width. Alright, so I couldn't come up with the exact tie rod. Like most things on this truck, it's always been a little bit of research. So I did find a replacement boot, but I want to eventually order a new set for this. So in order to do that, I need to know the thread, which is, I'm going to call that 11/16. I'm just going to write this on the back of the box for now. So it's an 11/16, and then you need some thread pitch gauges. And these are worth their weight in gold, because you can go through and you can figure out, like that one here, that's a 18 pitch. Now just remember, on one side, so driver's side, this is going to be a right hand thread, and on passenger side it'll be a left hand. So it's an 11/16 18 thread. Alright, let's get it back together. Get the boot on there, and then show you what we do next. Alright, so let's get a good check on this now. So I've got the other joint on, and we're just short of 68 5/8. And then this side, we're about a 1/16 over 68 5/8. So I always shoot for a 1/16 to an 1/8 inch toe in, so the backs are wider in the front, so we're good. Alright, so we got everything back together. So we just put a new boot on that tie rod in. because I couldn't find the actual tie rod. We got the power assist servo cylinder back on it. And let me know if you'd like to have another video on how the power assisted works on these things. Steering dampener's back on, and everything's back together underneath this thing. So we need to take it out for a little test drive to see. But I think overall, just slowly cleaning this old beast up. Next, we gotta do the brake lines in the front here. I'm gonna have to build a radiator for this thing because it's starting to leak. So I think that'll be fun because you just can't buy radiators for these old beasts anymore. I did have another cylinder, so I put that one on, and well, we got to test drive that too. So let's go drive it and see how it is. So that alignment's something easy to do. You just need those couple pieces of angle, and those are real easy. Get you a 24-inch piece and just measure out 2 of the holes, bolt them on. It doesn't matter if it's an old Dodge like this, as long as it has a solid axle in the front. Setting a toe on them is pretty easy. You can find all that information online as well, but just bolt it on. And then, like I said, I go from a 16th to an 1/8 of an inch. Now we were going to replace that tie rod end, couldn't find it, so I just replaced the boot instead. It was pretty ripped up, but still fairly easy. If you're working on something old, spend a day before, if you can, just soaking it down with some penetrant. You'll need it. But overall, fairly easy, something you can do. You can check, especially if you're on the trail beating on it. A quick tape out like that. Don't use your tires because you're talking about a fairly fine measurement, and I wouldn't trust your tires to that. But if you're on the trail, you do what you got to do. Alright, so from Duke and I, hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you on the next adventure. Hope you enjoy the content. Thanks for watching.